Welcome to the Deep Dive. Today, we are immersing ourselves in one of the world's most critical, definitely most colorful and complex cities, Istanbul.
Absolutely.
This city isn't just, a place you visit. The research we've looked at describes it as a real journey.
A journey through history, culture, flavors. It really offers a perspective unlike pretty much anywhere else.
It's a fantastic stack of material we've got.
Yeah, and our mission today, I think, is pretty clear. We need to distill that core appeal.
Right.
Nail down the essential landmarks, get a handle on the unique cultural points, and importantly, arm you with those first-timer tips.
The kind of tips that make you feel instantly, reasonably well-informed.
Exactly. We're aiming for those aha moments that make the sheer scale of Istanbul feel a bit more, comprehensible.
Okay, so let's set the stage, because the geography here is, it's the story, isn't it?
It really is.
Istanbul is the most populous city in Turkey, famous globally for its cultural synthesis. But what makes it truly unique is that location.
That position straddling two continents,
Yeah.
Europe and Asia.
Literally connected by the Bosphorus Strait.
And that continental bridge, that's everything. Historically, that spot has made it such a prize, a center of power.
Capital for three massive empires.
Yeah, think about it. Roman, Byzantine, and Ottoman.
That's incredible density.
It means everywhere you look, you're seeing this layered history.
Yeah.
Different civilizations, religions, nations. They've all coexisted there for thousands of years.
So it's the cosmopolitan metropolis built on, constant change.
Precisely.
Okay, let's unpack some of that history then. If we're looking for one single structure that perfectly symbolizes this multi-layered past, it has to be the Hagia Sophia, right?
Oh, absolutely. The Hagia Sophia is, it's kind of the ultimate architectural biography of Istanbul,
Right. The whole story.
Exactly. I mean, you look at its history, it started as this huge Christian church in the Byzantine
So
Empire.
the biggest, wasn't it?
Yeah, the largest Christian church. Then, after the Ottoman conquest, it becomes a grand mosque. Then, later, under the Republic, they make it a secular museum, showcasing its history from a different angle.
And now, what's the latest chapter?
And now it's actually operating as an active worship center again.
Wow. That four-part identity shift.
Yeah.
It's remarkable.
It really is.
It's not just a beautiful building. It's like a living timeline, showing Istanbul's relentless adaptability over, 1,500 years?
Exactly. And that historical mosaic, it doesn't stop there. You see these layers everywhere, often right next to each other.
Like what else?
Well, for instance, you can spend hours just soaking in the immense grandeur of the Ottoman world at Topkapi Palace.
That was the home of the sultans for centuries, right?
Nearly 4 centuries, yeah. It really showcases the opulence, the politics, the whole power structure of that empire.
And then, completely different, you could literally go underground.
Right. You descend beneath the ground and step straight into the Byzantine past with the Basilica Cistern.
Now, I think when people hear cistern, they imagine something small, like a simple water tank.
Oh, no. The research makes it clear this is monumental.
Monumental is definitely the right word. This thing was built back in the 6th century by Emperor Justinian I.
And it feels like a vast subterranean cathedral almost. Those huge marble columns holding up the ceiling.
Yeah.
It's mesmerizing.
Just incredible engineering for its time. Water-resistant architecture on a massive scale.
Yeah, a cavernous underground space that feels, almost mythological when you're down there.
It's that contrast that sounds so powerful.
Right.
You emerge from this Byzantine underground world back into, say, Sultanahmet Square with its Ottoman history all around.
Exactly. And then you look up.
And you see the Galata Tower, another survivor that really defines the modern skyline.
The Galata Tower is essential viewing, for sure. It originated way back in the Byzantine period, initially as a defensive structure.
It's been rebuilt and repurposed over the centuries, I gather.
Yeah, the details are in the material, but the key thing for you to know is its current status. It's an enduring symbol of the city.
And a crucial landmark for getting your bearings.
Definitely. You pretty much can't take a picture of the Istanbul skyline without that tower featuring prominently.
Okay, speaking of the skyline, these ancient stones tell amazing stories. But what about the pulse of Istanbul today?
The modern rhythm.
Let's talk about that. The sources describe this really colorful social life, just filled with people from all cultures. A city with a vitality that never stops.
And the blend of old and new is seamless here. Istanbul is recognized as the capital of artistic activities in Turkey.
Really? Where do you see that most?
You find that concentration of galleries, contemporary exhibitions, performance spaces, it's heavily centered in districts like Beyoğlu and Galata.
Beyoğlu comes up a lot in the research for contemporary art.
It does. It's home to Istanbul Modern, which was actually the first modern art museum established in Turkey.
So you have this city defined by millennia of history, but it's also actively cultivating modern expression. It's not just a museum piece.
Not at all. And that modern expression spills right into the evening. Which brings up an important question.
Where do you go for that famous nightlife, that vitality after dark?
Well, the sources suggest a couple of distinct paths depending on what you're after. You could start with the trendier cafes and bars over in Kadıköy.
That's on the Asian side, right?
Correct. A different vibe over there.
Or if you want that classic high-energy urban experience.
Then the Beyoğlu district, especially around Istiklal Avenue, gives you that non-stop buzz. Live music, entertainment, fantastic food. It's all there.
But really, you can't talk about modern Istanbul, or ancient Istanbul for that matter, without coming back to its geographical heart.
The Bosphorus. Has to be.
It's the city's lifeblood.
Absolutely. And taking a cruise on the Bosphorus, it's not optional. It's the definitive welcome to Istanbul view.
It's the best way to grasp the scale, I imagine.
Totally. Seeing those ancient palaces like Dolmabahce next to modern skyscrapers, all reflected in the water, and the bridges connecting the two continents, it's stunning.
And you see those old wooden mansions, too, the yalan.
Yeah, you spot them hugging the shoreline. Little reminders of Ottoman seaside life, standing right next to modern developments. It's quite the contrast.
That sounds like sensory overload, but in the best possible way.
Definitely.
Okay, let's dive into something that appeals to pretty much every traveler. The food. The flavors.
Ah, yes. The cuisine is a core part of the experience. You've got famous street tastes right alongside really elite places.
And there's a historical connection here, too, isn't there? Something about palace cuisine.
That's right. What's fascinating is how Istanbul's food foundations were so strongly influenced by the Ottoman court.
So the Sultan's kitchen basically set the standard.
Pretty much. The techniques, the ingredients developed for the palace, they've trickled down and influenced everything, from fine dining right down to the humble street stall.
Okay, so for the first-timer, there are the staples everyone knows. Turkish tea, Turkish coffee.
You can't miss those. Excellent kebabs, of course.
Yep.
And the sweets, baklava, Turkish delight, classics for a reason.
But for the listener who wants that deeper cut, that really hyper-local experience, we need to talk neighborhood specialties.
We absolutely do. To genuinely explore the local culture through food, you really need to seek out these specific location pairings.
Okay, let's give some examples. How about a classic drink? The famous boza. Where do you find that?
Right, boza. You head to the Vifa district for the authentic experience.
And remind us what boza is exactly. It's quite unique.
It is. It's a thick, almost porridge-like malt drink. Slightly fermented, traditionally served, sprinkled with cinnamon, maybe some roasted chickpeas, an essential winter drink, really.
Sounds interesting. Okay, moving to savory street food. What about kumpir? That massive baked potato dish.
Ah, kumpir. For that, Ortaköy is the neighborhood. It's basically a giant baked potato, hollowed out, mashed up with butter and cheese.
And then stuffed with dozens of toppings you choose yourself.
Exactly. It's a meal in itself. Very popular.
What about something a bit more niche?
Okay, well, for a very specific type of yogurt, you'd go to Kanlika. It's known for this unique, thick, rich yogurt, often served simply with a dusting of powdered sugar.
Simple but special.
Yeah. Or, if you're feeling truly adventurous, maybe try an awful dish called ukuduk. You'd find that in the Sutlus district.
Okay, maybe one for the dedicated foodies there.
Perhaps. And for something universally loved, chocolate.
Where's the spot for that?
Beyoğlu again. There are some famous historic chocolate shops there.
These neighborhood details, they really transform a trip, don't they? From just ticking off sites to having a genuine local experience.
Agreed. These deep cuts really show you the depth and texture of the city's culture. It's not just the big monuments.
Okay, so we've covered the history, the culture, the food. Now let's distill the key actionable knowledge, the top tips for a first-time visitor.
Right, the practical intelligence you need for a smooth trip.
What's priority number one?
Our prep material really stresses this. Look after your feet.
Comfortable shoes.
Absolutely critical. Those gorgeous historical districts like Sultanahmet, the Grand Bazaar, They're paved with ancient cobblestones. You will be walking a lot.
Forget the fashion footwear at home then.
Definitely. And when you're moving around longer distances, forget taxis, mostly.
Use public transport.
Yeah, it's cheap and incredibly convenient. Trams, the metro system, and especially the ferries, they're fantastic.
And you need the Istanbul card for that, right?
It's a must-have. You load it up and just tap to pay on pretty much everything. Makes getting around easy and affordable.
Good tip. What about money? Cards or cash?
While Istanbul is modern, the sources really emphasize carrying cash. Turkish lira.
Why's that?
Smaller shops, local markets, and definitely the ferries often prefer cash. You just don't want to get caught out.
Makes sense. And speaking of markets, like the Grand Bazaar, bargaining.
Oh yeah. It's not just allowed, it's kind of expected. It's part of the interaction.
But the advice is to be polite about it.
Always. Approach it politely, with a bit of good humor. Don't be aggressive.
Okay, shifting to cultural awareness. Mosques.
Planning ahead is vital, especially for the big, stunning mosques like the Blue Mosque. Dress modestly.
What does that mean in practice?
Covered shoulders, long pants, or skirts are recommended. And women should carry a scarf to cover their heads when inside. They often provide them if you forget, but it's respectful to bring your own.
And crucially, check the timings.
Yes. They're active places of worship, so they close to tourists during prayer times. Check the schedule beforehand to avoid disappointment or awkwardness.
Good advice. Anything else major?
Definitely try to visit both sides of the city. Take that ferry across the Bosphorus to the Asian side.
For a different perspective.
Exactly. It offers a completely different vibe, often a bit quieter, more local feeling, and you get amazing views back towards the European skyline.
And one last practical thing, the climate.
Right. Summers can be seriously hot and humid. Stay hydrated, use sun protection, pace yourself.
Okay, great practical tips. So wrapping this up, this deep dive really confirms it. Istanbul is a journey through layers.
It truly is. A city where civilizations, religions, nations, they've met, sometimes clashed, but ultimately coexisted for millennia.
It really seems like the model for cultural synthesis.
I think so, because it sits at that unique geographical crossroads connecting East and West. It's perfected the art of adaptability, of mixing.
You see it everywhere.
Yeah, that constant blending from the four identities of the Hagia Sophia we discussed to how palace cuisine still influences today's street food. That's its essential superpower. It doesn't just hold history, it actively reinterprets it every single day.
So thinking bigger picture then,
Yeah.
what does this tell us as we look at the future of cities globally?
Well, it makes you consider how this model of constant cultural synthesis, driven by geography, might shape other global cities.
Are there other major urban centers that act as similar bridges,
Uh-huh.
literally or maybe metaphorically?
That's the question. And how does that critical bridge trait influence their art, their daily life, their ability to absorb and remix global cultures like Istanbul does?
That's definitely something to mull over. A great thought to leave our listeners with as they maybe plan their own journey to the Bosphorus.
Indeed. There's always another layer to uncover there.